Queen, who is a community organizer and member of the Kent County Board of Education. Thank you, Mr. Queen.
Nah, I'm taking the mic. First, we've been sitting here almost as long as a black church service, so I want to do an icebreaker first and get some people up here to bring some joy and a little bit of laughter to this event, but it's still going to be serious. So real quick, if I can get 2 black volunteers and 2 non-black volunteers to come on up, we're going to do an icebreaker. I want to ask a question. You will have to explain it. If you don't come, I'm going to volunteer you. Come on up, Vic. Come on, Vic. Mr. Johnson, come on up. Frank Rhodes. Now I need one more. Miss Kennard, come on up. So I'm going to ask a question. You have to answer the question, but articulate why. The first question, line up. The question is, would you rather be white and live to be 50 or black and live to be 100? I want you to answer that question and articulate why.
I'd say black and live to be 100.
Why?
I got 50 more years to be on the earth.
That's a really difficult question. I'm battling with my morality. I'm battling with what I know systemic racism and white supremacy to be in this country, my personal and professional knowledge of the history of racial terror. And I know that my life is better as a white person in this country. It's much more privileged.
I agree with that, too.
Honestly, I know I'm more safe, but I guess I would want to be black and live to be 50 just because I see every day the strength and resiliency of that community. And I want to be, honestly, that community tends to be more on the right. And I want to be more on the right.
I want to live to be 100 years old. And the reason being in the black community, is that I can get a lot accomplished. If I die at 50, it stops. And there's a lot we can accomplish in this country, and that is my goal.
Just live in a mixed world and time, color, different races. Just want to live in a peaceful world, peaceful time, peaceful place. And however.
And I agree with what everyone else said. I would love to live to be 100 because we do still have a lot of work to do. Being here today and listening to everything, is still a lot that my family didn't talk about, the lynching days and all of that. So I would love to be around long enough to tell my family and those that are coming after me all about our history.
Round of applause for the volunteers. Yes, yes. We're gonna do one more real quick. I know we got some church folk in here, so I want y'all to finish this phrase. God is good. God is good. All the time. 400 years of slavery. All the time. The extermination of the native Indian. All the time. Jim Crow. Mass incarceration. All the time. The death of James Taylor, Ashbury Green, Thomas Campbell. All the time. Good afternoon, Commission, panel members, audience, and viewers. My name is John Queen. I'm a community organizer and a leader on the Upper Eastern Shore of Maryland. Today, we gather here in Kent County to discuss the past atrocities against blacks. The name of this commission is the Maryland Lynching Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Today, I will speak about truth and reconciliation. Let's start with the truth. The truth is defined as the quality or state of being true or in accordance with a fact. Well, the truth is, I did not want to do this presentation. I wrote this late last evening under the duress and stress of my wife and kids telling me to get it done. I'm a full-time father and husband with a full-time job in Anne Arundel County Public Schools with a daily commute. I handle the day-to-day operations of the Bayside Hoyas, and the truth is my life does not stop to reopen wounds to make white liberals feel woke. The truth is we as blacks, we're tired of talking about slavery and how we were murdered, lynched, raped, and demoralized. The truth is, as a newly elected Board of Education member, I will be judged on what I say here today. The truth is I'm a black man in America, and I know I'm a threat to white society. The truth is America considered people who look like me 3/5 of a human being and property. The truth is the constitutional amendments 13 through 15 have not still been honored or upheld. The truth is the black vote is exploited, and we as blacks have never gotten anything in exchange for our vote. The truth is the black community suffers. The truth is America has never addressed the primary issue that is oppressing us, which is the legacies and burdens of slavery. The truth is the black community survives in a state of comfortable oppression. It seems this truth is very complex. Now, I'm supposed to go right into reconciliation. And babe, I know you told me don't get too far off track, but sitting here, I still have to speak a little bit of my mind without keeping it all the way in my script, so forgive me. I'm tired of being one of the, and I'm not speaking for Paul or Darius because we do this all the time. I'm tired of being one of the token blacks that speak at these type of events. I prefer our community get these black leaders in a room and let us talk about how we empower ourselves and how we work together. This morning, I had to talk and assure my daughters that this is not our history. This is European colonialized history, and we were kings and queens, and we were the people who governed this earth before this happened. Yes, we know what happened for the last 500 years, but every day I tell my daughters who we were 2,500 years ago. When we talk critical race theory, keep in mind, 90% of the educators are white. Are they going to tell the truth? Is the school system that's ran by white society going to allow the truth to be told? If I ask right now, everyone take your phone and Google the image of Jesus Christ. It's going to be a white man. I'm not trying to switch your faith or make you holier than thou, but when you read in the Bible his description, well, we know he ain't white. We all have been living a lie. We see the truth in our face and we ignore it every day. I'm going to pull back a little bit because a lot of what I wanted to put in this speech, I think would have left a bad taste. And already we know we leaving out of here with that from the first 2 hours and hearing things. By the way, as a black person, when I hear this, I get angry. I look at the first white person I see and say, oh, they think they better than me. I don't like them. Never even met the white person, but that's how most black people feel. We hide that. We suffer in silence. The second word, reconciliation. Reconciliation is defined as restoration or friendly relationships to make amends. What does reconciliation look like to me? Well, in one word, reparations. And this is to the blacks in the room. So whites, yes, you're here, but cover your ears, because this is really to the blacks. Cover your ears. Reparations. Blacks, stop speaking about reparations in the form of a lump sum money settlement. There is no financial literacy in our community, and the blacks are the biggest consumers on the planet. We own nothing, we produce nothing. The first thing most of us will do is spend our money with someone who is not in our black community. The reason I think this is true because when blacks came out of slavery, we owned 1/2 of 1% of the wealth in America. Today, 2024, blacks only own 1/2 of 1% of wealth in America. Does it sound like blacks have came far? Blacks, we must learn to empower our community by starting with a functional community. Then we must practice group trust. In our community, then we should be group trust that should be also followed by group cooperation. Also, Paul 2 mentioned it earlier, accountability. We must also practice group accountability. We must start making decisions in the black community as a group. And yes, white people, that means we do not need you at the table. Once we have empowered ourselves with the exclusion of whites, we then can start addressing the 5 major issues that plague the black community. Those 5 issues are police genocide, miseducation, gentrification, mass incarceration, and access to wealth. When discussing empowerment, the only way we as blacks achieve that is with vertical change. Vertical, we must go up with change, starting with our foundation, which is the community. So just imagine a 5-story building, and the ground that you put that foundation on is our community. Your next floor would be economics. Why economics? Because the black dollar leaves out of the black community in 1 hour. The Asian community, the money circulates the numbers could be off, but I know it circulates 11 to 12 times. The white community, 4 to 6 times. The black community is gone in 1 hour. After we form our community and we get economics within our community, the next step is politics. We just went through an election, and we might think politics is the only answer. It's just a slice of the pie. The reason you need economics to go to politics because we know now money run campaigns. And if I already mentioned we work in a group, we take our money as a group, and we go to these elected officials and say, here's our agenda, and here's what you better run on. And if you don't hold it, we hold them accountable. If not, they out of office. You get 1 term and 1 try to trick black people. After economics, you then go to the judiciary system. Well, we know politicians run the judges, the laws. So now as a community, we're starting to build our floors. The 4th floor would be media. We need someone else to start telling our story. 99% of media is black ran, or it's white ran. All you young people out there listening, in attendance, what you need to do, start using your social media platform to get directly to each other. The last level is education. We need to be re-educated on who we are, and we need to do it in a room and in a community where we are the only ones there. We don't need our history and our education whitewashed any longer, and we should not continue to tolerate it. So once we have that base, we then can start talking about direction. Because now we can be prepared to receive reparations. So let's discuss how we use reparations. Our reparations must guarantee us access to 4 major resources: water, food, medicine, and energy. Once we have acquired these 4 resources, we can then begin the reconciliation process. As a black community, we should not engage in any negotiations until these terms are met. In closing, blacks, stop waiting for your 40 acres and a mule. Stop waiting for a white messiah to fall out the sky to save you. The war against black families has not stopped. The war against our black community has not stopped. The war against our black culture has not stopped. Blacks, we need to fight for the future and preservation of our children, community, and our people. If we allow whites to lead this fight, we will continue to remain in comfortable oppression. My name is John Queen, and I leave in the words of the great musician James Brown, I'm black and I'm proud. Thank you.